Have you ever given yourself directions that you would never accept from someone else? I want to feel more settled. I want my work to mean something. I want to get out of this and into something else. These are gestures in a direction. They are not destinations you can navigate toward. I want to share with you a story from my book that will illustrate exactly why that matters. Early in my career, I subbed one day in the home economics classroom. Very much not my territory. The lesson was shake and bake chicken. My students couldn't see the demonstration, which meant I couldn't rely on what most teachers rely on. Watch what I do, and then you do it yourself. The night before, I put on a blindfold and made the chicken myself. What I discovered was that I didn't have the words, the actual specific words for what my hands were doing automatically by sight and experience. I had to find those words before I could teach. There was a student in that class I'll call Teresa. Quick, curious, a laugh that took up the whole room. She also carried something quieter. At home, she didn't participate in the kitchen, not because she refused, but because her family believed, with the best of intentions, that she couldn't. She came into that classroom carrying a question she'd learned not to ask out loud. Can I actually do this? We worked through every step, specific, sequential, nothing assumed. And somewhere in the middle of that lesson, Teresa stopped waiting for my confirmation and started moving to the next step on her own. When the chicken was done, her whole face changed, not dramatic. It was something quieter. The expression of a person who has just discovered that the map she'd been handed is wrong. She looked at me with a big grin. I did it! Here's what I've come to understand. Vague direction isn't neutral. For someone who already believes they're capable, a gap in the instructions is just a gap. They will fill it and keep going. For someone who has been quietly told they can't, that same gap becomes evidence. Over there is not a direction. It's a test that only some people are set to pass. This applies to the directions we give ourselves, too. I want to feel more aligned. Well, what does that actually look like? What are you doing on a Tuesday afternoon when you're aligned? What has changed? You cannot navigate toward a gesture. You need an address. Here's your reflection for this week. Where in your own life are you giving yourself directions that are too vague to follow? Pick one area, just one, and describe it in specific, honest terms. Not the polished version. What would you see, feel, or know was different if you actually arrived at that address? You can't navigate over there, but you can navigate toward an address. Let's find yours. See you next week.